I'm at the Black Bear Film Festival in Milford, Pennsylvania, and I am with Dennis Lee, who is on the executive board. How you doing, Dennis?
Good, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
I'm so excited to be at this festival. I've never been here before.
Thank you very much for coming. It's a small festival, but it's a very enjoyable festival. We get quite a few entries from around the world, and this year we have quite a selection.
Yes, well, I know that it's very respected, and I'm very interested to see one of your main films that is the opening film of the night, and it's about Boris Karloff, right?
Yes, it's a documentary about Boris Karloff and what he went through to get the part, and how he was an English actor trained on the stage and then came east to perform in Hollywood.
Really, yes. So we're going to find out more about him. But right now we're going to find more about Dennis. Dennis is also a filmmaker. Tell us something about your journey.
My journey was I started as an actor, and then slowly I got into directing and producing, and I've done a number of documentaries. I did some work with HBO, and now up here, when I moved up here, I was asked to do some documentaries on different towns, including Dingman's Ferry, Shahola. I found some old footage from back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s on what people did, and I cut them all together to tell stories. I love to tell stories, yes.
Now tell everybody also about your theater in Dingman's Ferry.
We have a theater in Dingman's Ferry that I took a building over from the township, and we built a 56-seat theater for performers to come perform. We've done a number of plays, and we also have an amphitheater which we have outside. This year we had a gentleman doing Sinatra. His daughter was doing Judy Garland, and we had a 19-piece orchestra, and that was free. To anyone who wanted to come, we had over 500 or 600 people. It was a big hit, and we do that every year.
That's wonderful. Do you have a website that you want to shout out so that we can follow you?
Yes, it's Dingman's Ferry Theater, THEATRE, @.com. So it's dingmansferrytheater.com. And if you want to email us, it would be dingmansferrytheater@gmail.com. So we keep you informed. We're doing It's a Wonderful Life this December, as well as Miracle on 34th Street in our small theater, which will be radio style, and I'm sure it's going to be a great show.
It sounds like so much fun. Yeah. I'm going to be there.
I hope to see you.
I'm with John DiLeo, who is a film historian and an author. Hi, John. I'm so honored to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Very nice. It's a gorgeous night. Welcome to the Black Bear Film Festival.
It's beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I've been meaning to get here for years, and I finally made it. And I'm very interested in your work because you actually highlight in small segments old-time movie actors, right?
Yes.
Do I have it right?
I've written 7 books about classic films, and here at the film festival I often interview filmmakers or the old-time stars. We show one of their movies and then have a segment on the stage with me asking questions of that person, taking questions from the audience too.
Isn't that wonderful? Now, do you find that the younger people don't really know who you're talking about?
Yes. Younger people meaning under 50.
Yeah. So it's good that you are recording these things,
yes.
And I think because everybody has such short attention spans nowadays, they'll watch it.
Yes, I do my part, and it's great when you do get young people excited. I show classic movies almost every Sunday here at the Milford Theater, and it's great when you do see young people coming to see old movies like Singing in the Rain or Some Like It Hot.
Wonderful.
And I almost want to say, what are you doing here? But they usually, my parents told me about old movies and we love them, so that's great.
It's so terrific to see those old-time movies on the big screen, because there's nothing like it.
Yes, you see things you never saw.
It's not like watching it on a computer or a television, and there's also an atmosphere when you're in a theater that, even if there's one person in the theater with you, you can giggle together, you can go together.
The community experience, yes. Funny is funnier, sad is sadder. It's great.
So now what made you decide to do this?
Oh, just my love of it and trying to turn your hobby into a career. And tomorrow I'll be doing at 10 a.m. in our film salon a video program connected to my latest book, which is called There are no small parts. 100 outstanding film performances with screen time of 10 minutes or less. So we're going to look at 12 of the 100 performances in the book. I'm going to show the clips, talk about them, and give you a sense of what was so great about these people and how in just a few minutes they could make such an impact on a movie.
Right. Can you think of one person off the top of your head that we're going to see in that?
Yes, Marilyn Monroe in an early appearance in All About Eve, a classic movie, Oscar-winning Best Picture. She's only in it for 3 minutes, but everyone who's seen it remembers her, right? You know,
she had it.
Yes, she walks on and owns the movie screen.
Is it?
And she's only in
it
for 3 minutes.
Okay,
so
name one more.
I'm also going to show more. The first one in the book, Elsa Lanchester as Bride of Frankenstein. Okay. Everyone knows the image with the lightning bolts in her hair.
We're going to see a few of those Halloween costumes floating around town.
Exactly.
I bet.
So that's a good one for Halloween. But yeah, even though we know the image, it's a great performance. It transcends the sort of the campiness of the Halloween costume, and what she does is kind of amazing in just 4 minutes in that case.
That's so wonderful. So now we're also looking forward to your interview with the filmmaker that made the Boris Karloff movie.
We're showing this great Boris Karloff documentary tonight as the opening night film, and the filmmaker, producer, and co-writer Ron MacCloskey is here, which is really great. And after the movie, I'll go up on stage, invite Ron up, and we'll talk to each other for about 20 minutes and take some questions from the crowd. And I'm very excited. I've already seen the movie. I loved it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that because I love Boris Karloff.
Yes, he's great.
Used to scare the pants off of me, and I'm interested to know his life story.
Well, it's not just the horror movies. You find out all the different things as an actor that he did, and so much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Looking forward to that. So nice to meet you, John.
Same, Helen. Thank you so much.
I am with Dominique. I'm with Dominique, and she came all the way from Delaware to the Black Bear Film Festival. Why did you come so far? How many hours? 5 hours?
5.5 hours to get here with my husband.
Okay, and why are you here?
Because we always came to Black Bear Film Festivals, and because of COVID, we didn't. And when we found out this was happening, we came.
Yes. You love it here, right? You have a great time?
We both have a wonderful time.
That's terrific. So tell me, what was the most favorite thing you've seen here so far? You said something about the bears.
Oh, I love the bears. We bought a bear when we first came down here, and we still have that bear, and it's the first bear to go to Delaware. And, you know, people here are so friendly. Everything's so much fun. We definitely want to come back next year.
That's wonderful, Dominique. Well, they're going to start showing the film in a minute, so we have to get inside. But I'm so happy to be able to tell everybody that people do come from all over the country to this film festival.
You bet.
He was the consummate character actor, a character actor who became a star.
That face was just so magical.
There is not a single movie I've ever done that is not under the shadow that this man casts.
This storm will be magnificent.
He kind of backs into the scene and turns around slowly in the lights, and there's that face. You can't imagine a better entrance.
You can show that image to almost anyone in the world. What's this? Frankenstein.
In The Bride of Frankenstein, they virtually crucify the monster.
I saw my Messiah.
The gods will receive into the underworld the spirit of Ankhsenamen.
He had just an extraordinary career. I mean, everybody raves about him.
People think of him as either British or Russian, but he was actually of Indian descent.
There were various things he didn't want to talk about.
What was he running away from when he left home? What was he frightened of?
He becomes kind of a lovable uncle. He was Uncle Boris.
He was a very, very interesting, complex man.
But he's always an outsider, always feels he doesn't quite belong.
You'll never get rid of me, Toddy.
I think there's an enigma. There's a real mystery at the heart of Boris Karloff, and no one's quite cracked it yet.
Certain actors bring the camera to them, and Karloff had that power.
I'm here now with Ron MacCloskey, who has a fantastic movie called Boris Karloff, The Man Behind the Monster. Now, you didn't work on this alone, did you, Ron?
No, as a matter of fact, I had a wonderful partner. His name is Thomas Hamilton, and he's in London, England.
Oh.
And thank God, because of Google and the internet and whatever, we communicated back and forth. He eventually came here. We interviewed people, and so it was great that I had someone from Europe involved.
Yeah. Well, we had a screening of this wonderful documentary, which was really all-encompassing about the life of Boris Karloff. Wonderful yesterday. And you really covered everything, soup to nuts. And what an interesting actor and man Boris Karloff was.
Well, that was the whole point of the film. The point of the film is I wanted to show people that he was more than just the Frankenstein monster. Right. And he did. I mean, he had an amazing career. He succeeded in almost every type of show business you can think of. From film, he first in silence, then in sound. He went to radio, he went to television, episodic television. Just great. He was a wonderful man and a great actor.
Yeah. Now, he was not born in this country, right? He was from India. Was that it?
Well, no. Here's the story. The Pratt family, his name was William Henry Pratt, and his grandfather and father and almost all his brothers were actually born in India.
Okay.
But they moved back to England about a decade before he was born. However, they say there's a chance of him having mixed blood, and that's why he always had the dark complexion.
Right.
He wanted to act, and again, once he got to be the age of 21, he decided the best thing to do is to leave his own country and to pursue acting on his own. So he went to Canada first.
Yes.
And when you say he worked with lines of communications, he did, but he actually were digging ditches.
Yes, that's what I meant. I remember the visual of him climbing up a hill with, ropes on him, et cetera, which he soon left when he had the opportunity.
Well, but for 10 years, though, he did a lot of manual labor to help pay the rent. And if you see those very few first films that he did, he was very muscular. He had a wonderful body, and that was because of all those years of manual labor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he really cared about acting. That was his goal, and that's all he wanted to do. And once Frankenstein hit, he did. He acted almost till the day he died.
Yeah. And you had mentioned that there was an age gap between himself and his brother. He was the seventh of 7 children. I'm the 7th of 7 children.
Oh, okay.
So that was funny. So we have that in common. That together in Screen Actors Guild. He was one of the founders of Screen Actors Guild, believe it or not. He's number 9.
Yes.
So thank goodness for people like him that stopped the actors from being terribly used. Really long hours. I was wondering, your attraction with Boris Karloff started at a very early age, and was that because of Frankenstein?
Yes. When I grew up in the early 60s, there were a lot of things going on. You had the old movies late at night on television. You had a magazine called The Famous Monsters of Filmland, so you could buy that in the newsstand. And then you had the toys in the toy store, and they were models. And I got my first model when I was 7 years old. I fell in love with it, and I just started collecting, and I never threw anything out. So I was attracted to the movies first, and then as I got older, I was attracted more to the actor and what he did with his career.
Yeah. That's very good that you wanted to know more about it than just seeing the movie, that you really were interested in finding out what made this guy tick and how did he progress, because he's an inspiration to a lot of people. Incredibly, he had a phenomenal memory that they could actually do pages of scenes in one take because he knew it all.
Yeah, a lot of actors, and sometimes you don't find this out till later, but they had, it's called the photographic memory, where you could actually see a page of dialogue, sometimes more than 1 or 2, and memorize that and be able to do that over and over again. I mean, some actors, it's not easy to do that. It's when you're on stage, you have to do that. You have to memorize your line and the other person's line and go throughout the whole play. But when you're in film, you just do short scenes every single day. But he was still able to take that photographic memory and remember things.
I was wondering, what similarities do you have with Boris Karloff? Is there something that draws you to him?
The thing I think I relate most to with his career is his tenacity and the fact that he loved to work and didn't want to stop to work. So I'm the same way. I have been very fortunate, very creative in my life. that each time I've come up with something, then I come up with something else, and then I pursue something else. So it's kind of an eclectic background, but I've been able to perform and work all these years and do many, many things. And it's so much fun. It's so much enjoyable. And I love this town, Milford.
Milford is beautiful.
Wonderful.
What do you think about being at the Black Bear Film Festival?
Oh, I think it's great. Really, it's so wonderful that these small towns can realize that there's something so special and latch onto it and then promote that and make that a part of their history. And that's what's so great, is that the Milford Theater has been around this long. Yes. In fact, they showed a movie last night with Mary Pickford, right? And that was shot in this area.
Now, let's talk about your award here.
Sure. This is called the Rondo, and we won this as the best documentary of 2021. And in the monster world, this is a very coveted award. It's like the Oscar or the Emmy. And I got this last year in Lexington, Kentucky.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
He had an amazing career where he was able to succeed in film by being the monster in Frankenstein, succeed on Broadway with Arsenic and Old Lace,
amazing,
and then succeed on television with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The man was nominated for a Tony, and he won the Grammy. Great career.
Yeah. And his daughter is helping to keep his legacy alive, right?
Right. Her name is Sarah Karloff. And as we speak right now, this is the middle of October. By the end of October, though, she will be in New Jersey at a thing called the Chiller Convention. Ooh. And be there live and in person if anyone wants to meet her.
Oh, wonderful. When is that? The end of this month?
Yes.
In time for Halloween?
Yes, in time for Halloween. And also she will be selling the DVD and Blu-ray of this film, and they can own their own copy.
Yes. We wanted to mention that you do have a DVD, right? And it's on Blu-ray and regular DVD. That this runs 99 minutes, I believe, right?
Correct. And October 18th is the official release date, and you can go to Amazon, Best Buy, or Walmart and buy your own copy.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much,
welcome.
Ron. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Happy Halloween.
You remember Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid at the very end, and they're holed up in that stable?
Say, what is the shelf life of a career like this at your age? No, I'm just curious. We've never actually seen you in anything.
Why can't you just enjoy retirement?
And why don't you just enjoy the afterlife and get out of my head?
Good news? They liked your audition so much. It's a major role in an impactful film. And you're booked.
Wow. Anybody want to follow that?
Remember that job that I booked last month? It got canned. Poof.
Poof.
You are going to be great in this, sweetheart.
God, if there isn't this.
The production just fall apart?
Is this why you act? To torture yourself? To torture me?
I can't take your torture either.
I mean, what is the shelf life of this kind of career at my age?
Who am I talking to, Aaron, or the voices inside your head?
We've never actually seen you in anything.
You expect too much.
You sure they're talking about me?
Aaron with 2 A's?
Aaron always has 2 A's. That's how you spell it.
I'm with Stephen Lichtenstein, who is the star of Aaron with 2 A's. He's also the executive producer and a co-writer. Stephen, I just loved your movie.
Thank you so much.
And the premise is an actor who's a little bit older and he's still trying to get his break, and some of the complications that come into play. Right? Is that it in a nutshell?
More or less. It's also about getting out of your own head to achieve a dream and make it come through. And it is an actor of a certain age. But
yeah. But so when you were writing this, what was your starting point? Like when you sit down to start to write something, I think that's the hardest part, is to actually get the first paragraph down.
Oh, God. 4 years ago,
is it?
I actually created the monologue about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And I had no idea that it would be in this film, because it was a whole nother story I thought of. But it worked into this. And over time, I realized that I had to do something more personal and something that was about me. And this popped up, actually, and we fine-tuned it.
Okay, so now what do you mean when you said you did the monologue for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
There's a monologue in the film that is about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, that he's practicing and he's learning, and it winds through the film, and that's really all I had to begin with. And then we, as I said, it was based on my life, so it just got into something I wanted to inspire people and make an impact with.
Yeah, and the truest stories come from your own life and personal experiences. It hits home because people can sense that it's reality, right?
Yeah.
So now, in your home life, you have, I imagine that you're married.
Right there, yeah.
Yes, she's right there. And is she agreeable with your acting career?
She is now. It's my second wife, and we laugh sometimes because I really didn't tell her I'd be wanting to move to New York about, I don't know, 8-10 years ago, to actually get involved up in New York in I won't say professional because that's not the word, but to actually get more involved with actually television and movies and so forth. And so she lived with it, she supported it, and thank God for that.
Okay, so now you had some very nice supporting actors. You had Anthony Robert Grasso, you had Vincent DiCali. So tell us something about your experience working with them.
For Anthony, I have taken class with Anthony for four years. I've worked with him before, and he's a wonderful person and a great teacher. And I wrote this with him in mind for the teacher role. So it was, he was great. And Vince played my father, who has passed. He's in my head. And Vince is a great actor. And he's a wonderful man. He's gentle and kind. He's just the best.
I think you did a very good job too, Stephen. And the question for the movie is, at what point is it enough, right, with the career? Should I stop? Should I go on? Am I too old? Do I have enough talent? Did you answer that question for yourself?
Oh my God! How many times?
Daily, by the minute.
No, I've worked. Frame of mind is something I've worked on for the last 10, 15 years greatly. That's why I could kind of write about this and about trusting kind of the universe, and if you get out of your own way, out of your own head, and your attitude becomes more positive, things come back to you. And I've learned that more and more. But every actor hits a valley when you're not getting things, and it goes along, and you wonder sometimes what happens. Yeah. I mean, I've reiterated my career a few times, if that's the right word. But I basically took hiatus for about 15, 16 years at one point, and then came back again. Loving acting and loving this, it finds you.
Yeah, I think that's common. People do go in and out of the industry because it can get tough. Mm-hmm. Life gets in the way. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't make all the money that you would like to make, so you have to get a, quote, real job, right?
Plus they're doing their own films like I am.
Yeah.
And so that's out there too.
This is your calling card. So from this can either get possibly funding for a feature or an episodic, correct?
Yes,
or
please.
It can have people see you and say, oh, you know what? I need a character just like that. You don't know where it can go. You don't know.
No, and as an actor, and anybody who is an actor is watching, you always hear, they're not hiring you, or you want to get hired more or whatever, and somebody else is going to do it. And the thing is, do your own film, because you're in control of it. Mm-hmm. You're showing what you can do in a larger role that you may never get a chance to, and hopefully it will help move the career along.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Black Bear Film Festival here in Milford? How do you like it?
It's a great place. Milford itself is absolutely charming and beautiful, and it's historic and lovely. And the Black Bear Festival, I loved it. And the amount of people who support this, who were here today, it's amazing. And they're so supportive and so wonderful. The whole festival is. They had a wonderful gala dinner last night that was well attended and was great. So I'm very proud to have been at this festival.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to meet you. And I'm glad that I saw your film. I really liked it. It had a lot of different things that made you think. So everybody, when you get a chance, see Aaron with 2 A's. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any words of wisdom to actors, filmmakers?
Yeah. Never give up.
I'm with Chelsea Komowoski, and she just had a really good movie called Peanut Butter in the Black Bear Film Festival. Chelsea, congratulations. That was a good movie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Did you write that?
I did. I wrote it all by myself. I did have someone help me edit it and fine-tune it, but most of the writing and the idea was me.
Okay. It was a short film. And tell everybody the basic idea.
It is about a YouTuber named Angela who has a lifestyle, beauty, fitness channel. She's almost at 1 million subscribers. And one day her interns mess something up and she doesn't take too kindly to it.
Okay. So did you have some kind of an experience like that made you want to write this?
No, nothing like that has happened to me. But I do like writing things that start off pretty innocent, and then somewhere in the middle things take a wrong turn. Maybe things get violent or just something bizarre and crazy happens.
How important is it for people today to have a lot of followers on social media?
I would say if you're just talking purely for like work and networking and making money, a lot. If you just want to like put your stuff out there and just be yourself and just put your art or music or whatever, doesn't matter, I don't think, but you know.
So are you in the movie?
I'm not in the movie. I was gonna take up one role if someone couldn't make it, just to make sure things stay afloat, but everyone showed up and everyone was really good.
Did you direct as well?
I did.
Yeah, so that's a little more difficult when you're acting in it and directing it. And this is your first film, right?
Yes.
Are you happy with the response from the audience at the Black Bear Film Festival?
Yeah, a lot of people laughed, which is what I was hoping for, because above all else, I want to make people laugh, and I got a good response, so I'm really happy that other people liked it.